Today, we go on the road to kick off Season 2 of the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty, and it's a great place to start in Hawaii. But for Coach Bearington, he's got a lot of decisions to make, and one of the first and arguably most important is at quarterback. 3 guys starting caliber. Ashton Daniels was the starter for a majority of the season last year. However, he saw no improvement. We also saw a little bit of Miles Jackson last year, the junior. He saw a lot of progression up to the same overall as Ashton Daniels. And then, of course, there's the red shirt freshman in Elijah Brown. We pulled that red shirt, we gave him a game, and he showed promise. But who's going to earn that starting spot? Well, Coach gave them all an opportunity during training in the offseason, and well, none of them really seemed to take charge. Daniels has that flexibility you look for as a college quarterback. He's got some decent arm power with some accuracy, plus a little bit of some mobility. Jackson, however, he showed to be the most promised quarterback when it comes to pure accuracy. However, he does not have any mobility. Then with Elijah Brown, a little bit of a blend of the two. The strongest arm on the team. Accuracy's not as good as the other two, but has more mobility than Miles Jackson. And of course, at running back, Cedric Irvin does return, and he will be the primary running back. But there's also a promising true freshman in James Bartow, the team's new power back. And he showed some ability to definitely use that power, plus a little bit of a nice burst of speed. And I imagine that Coach Barrington will put some packages together for him. As for receiver, well, A.O. Manor declared for the draft, and indeed he went in the draft 4th round, leaving Bachmeier and Borden to take over as the only 2 players who really saw any time last year. They did bring in a transfer receiver in Noah Short, who will be playing in the slot. And another area to keep your eye on is at tight end. Stanford known as a tight end U. They brought in Jamari Johnson, another transfer. And while he's mostly a blocking tight end, he did show a little bit of a burst, more so than any of the other tight ends we had. The true freshman CJ Draft will see some playing time, but primarily he'll be a blocking tight end. As for the offensive line, not a single starter returns from last year, though a couple players did see some time. Baklenko did play a little bit, as well as Anderson. Everyone else all new, as well as a new freshman, true freshman starting at center in Joshua Mazza. But the anchor point of that line is Ernest Green III, another transfer and highest rated player on the offense. On the defensive side, we are anchored by 2 star edge rushers in Tafiti and Cooper, though there is plenty of young depth behind that should see some playing time. At DT, still again relying on a lot of freshmen for the depth, but starting a transfer in Keanu will anchor the interior while still providing some pass rush. And then the second DT will see a rotation between Rowell, Bynum, Willingham, and Ume. As for off-ball backers, it is a very young group. Only 1 senior in Matt Rose, and we'll see if he ends up getting the start. There are calls for redshirt freshman Dylan Stevenson to get the start over Rose. And the defensive captain from last year returns in Colin Wright. Outside of him at corner, it's a very unproven group. Safety, though, is a very young group. All of the free safeties are either a redshirt freshman or a redshirt sophomore. At strong, the only older guy of the group, Scotty Edwards, started last year, returns. New kicker also in Javier Chicolo. But of course, we are getting underway in the rain. How fitting, we go to Hawaii. And we've got some rain coming down as the transfer in Short gets our Season 2 underway. And it would appear the senior in Ashton Daniels getting the call at quarterback to start the season. We'll see if there's any rotation throughout, and it is Bartow, the freshman, who gets the first carry of the season, and he will spin forward, picking up a gain of 8. I imagine we'll see a pretty heavy rushing game this year as Irvin busts it to the outside. He slips one, a flag is down in the backfield, but for now, a big gain. But it looks like this one is coming back on the transfer in green. He ended up just grabbing too much of that jersey. So 2nd and 7, back to Bartow down the middle. He'll pick up 4. So far, he and Irvin switching every single play. It's Irvin back here, but a great stop in the backfield. That will force a punt. So a promising drive ended due to penalties. And now our first look here at a very much well-changed defense. A lot of key guys leaving as it's a handoff down the middle. They get by the blitzers. Ramos will eventually come over to get the stop. This year definitely relying on the pressure of Tafiti and Cooper. Tafiti got back there. Ramos with 2 straight tackles. He seems to be off to a fast start, which is exactly what we need. An unproven group. As there's some pressure, it's Cooper who can't get the sack. Instead, scrambling. They end up squeezing together a gain of 4. Play action here on 3rd. And missing the SWAT is right. Was in near position to find the pick. Maybe he slipped again, and we got a lot of rain coming down out there. As Hawaii is down to the red zone. They got 2 spread either side. Looking to find a pass, and they have a window into the end zone. The Rainbow Warriors strike first in week 0. So not a great start here in this one. Offense, we got to pick back up where we left off and just leave the penalties behind as Bartow, he picks up a gain of 1 and 2nd and 9, finally spreading things out a little bit here. As Daniels look for his first passer, trying to step up, he gets sacked. This offensive line not necessarily going to be the best pass blockers, leaving us with a 3rd and 12. Daniels under center. He's got Bachmeier in motion on the left-hand side as they look for him here, try to utilize that speed to get close to the first. Oh, they mark him about half a yard shy. Coach Barrington keeping the offense out there in their own territory. It is risky. But they hand it off Irvin, and he will pick up the first. Maybe a little bit more of a burst there, and we got a bigger gain. But for now, we will take the first down, especially on 4th down. Flipping this one out to the freshman fullback. It's Dawkins. Not the fastest, but he picks up a nice gain. Stanford really focused on bringing in some better blockers for the running game, both at tight end and fullback. As it's a draw here, Irvin down the middle, stopped after 1. Although running game definitely opened up to start the game. This drive, a little bit slower, not quite finding as many lanes. 2nd and 9, Borden in motion. He'll take the drag and will pick up a gain of about 7. He made a couple big plays last year. Expect a much larger role this year. 3rd and 2, Irvin will power forward to get that first. That will take us into the break here. First quarter comes to an end, 7-0. As we get the second quarter underway, it's the Maryland Eye. A little bit of some play action rolling, and we'll look for the freshman who can't grab it. That was CJ Draft. 2nd and 10. Irvin alone back here, 2 tight ends on the left-hand side, and a quick motion as they try to get the pulling to the outside. Irvin will pick up 5, leaving 5. And they'll attack it with 2 to the left-hand side. No receiver out to the right. Fullback in the backfield. As Daniels tries to step up, he throws it out to Bachmeier, who drops it. And the ever-going trend here of rookies, Chicolo. He comes out here and he's got the power, but he pulls it to the left. The stretch of bad field goal kicking since Joshua Carty ended up getting drafted continues. I'm sure Coach Bearington really hoping his defense will come through on this drive as there's some immediate pressure, but Alejado, the quarterback here for the Rainbow Warriors, finds his target. First down. Been close on a couple plays, just not quite, as there's the freshman, true freshman in Poe. He's taken over for Sinclair, who graduated, Galvin, who transferred away, and a tackle from Ume. He's one of the new starters at DT, rocking that 99. Need a little bit of some pressure here as it's a quick throw across the middle and a stop from the defense. So a much better drive from the defense. See if the offense can build upon it as they go RPO. It's a TFL Asa 2. Warren LaFelle gets the tackle, the senior out of Minnesota. 2nd and 12. It's the ace formation. They go back to the run. It opens up down the middle for Irvin, who's going to burst through, pick up a gain of about 17. I think with the team out the gate right now is missing is a little bit of that deep threat, trying to stretch out the field. They've kept most things short. Wide receiver screen, though, will go for a gain of 4. Of course, Bachmeier used a little bit more as a gadget receiver last year. Any down the field targets strictly went to Ao Manor. As it's the jet sweep here. Short gets to the outside. It's good blocking. He's got some green grass. 10-5 diving. Somehow he avoids the defender in the air. First touchdown of the season goes to the transfer receiver Noah Short. Now let's utilize that momentum and try to build a little something here. It starts with the defense. A spread look. We bring the blitz. Quick throw to the outside, right with the tackle. That was one thing noted this year. You're not going to see as much press coverage from the defense here for the Cardinal. As it's a read option, Alejado gets to the outside, and Ramos slows him down, cleaned up by the new starter at safety. Not too sure how the hoodie thing fits here at Stanford, but it's raining, so we'll allow it for now. But it's a 1st and 10 around the 45. Alejado trying to make some changes at the line. And lofting it downfield, it's a pick from the senior, Scotty Edwards. He's turning and getting caught from behind and the side. But it's an early turnover here. That's already an improvement off of last year that really wouldn't see any of that until the second half. And that's exactly what we were needing from the defense. Again, trying to build off that touchdown. Now a turnover. Let's get down the field and grab a lead here as Irvin will lay on his offensive lineman for a little bit. Ultimately ends up going as a gain of 1. 2nd and 9. A little bit of some play action. And finding some space is Short, who will get the first down. From there quickly, it hits the 2-minute warning. At the 30, Irvin, he'll take the handoff and he tries to bounce it. Clean tackle. That's the star here of the defense in Jalen Smith. 2nd and 11. Gonna be play action here for Daniels. Rolling, he's got boarded in, but he clutched the throw, and he takes a big sack. Not sure why he didn't let that one rip. But we move inside about a minute and a half here, as it's a 3rd and very long. A little bit of some play action. Daniels trying to escape the pocket. He slips a tackle, but he gets dragged down by that same tackler. Coach Bearington really relying here on his freshman kicker. This is a long one. And it's nowhere close. The rain is doing no favors here to the true freshman. Or perhaps that's just us trying to give him a little benefit of the doubt. Say he slipped, maybe the laces weren't out. But it's a 1st and 10 here for the Rainbow Warrior with a nice pass to the outside, a bad angle, and it's gonna be a one-and-done lead here. Before halftime, Hawaii strikes on the deep corner route. With 51 seconds left, can Stanford try to answer back? They do have all their timeouts, as they will look to start with a pass. Rolling out and flicking this one out to Irvin, who will keep running. He will pick up that first down. Was not going to be denied, as they needed to get that first down to apparently not stop the clock, even though it's technically what's supposed to happen. Get this one up for Borden. Nice throw from Daniels, and a timeout called there. Very much looks like, at least out the gate, that the passing game is a work in progress here for the Stanford offense. As it's covered well downfield, though, finding a little spot underneath and sliding down with it with the first down. That is one of the new receivers in Harris over on that right-hand side. Getting this one down the field here, it's Noah Short, and it's just a little bit too far out in front, and a timeout called after from Coach Bearington. Considering it was an incomplete pass, maybe he shouldn't have. Maybe he called it before the pass hit the ground. He thought it was going to be caught. Either way, it's a pass to the outside here for Harris, who gets the grab and out at the 7. Daniels showing off the arm strength here. Now they've got to make sure they get into the end zone. One timeout left, 15 seconds on the clock. And Daniels making a hot route as he's got his receiver in motion on the right-hand side. And they go to Dawkins, the fullback. Final timeout called there with a minimal gain. Have time for maybe one shot towards the end zone. If it's quick, maybe two. And how about that for a quick throw? It is Harris. One of the new additions here for the offense, was a red shirt last year. He finds the end zone, and it's a great passing drive to end the half. But overall, we need to find the balance on offense with a strong rushing game featuring some good passing defense. We just got to clean up a little bit here. We've done mostly well. We've just given up a couple big plays, and that's why this game is tied. Additionally, also some missed kicks being the reason of that. We got to definitely get better at that, but it's defense out first, as they've got a little bit of time to throw in. Weaving by the pass rush, Alejado, he's got a bunch of grass to run on. Eventually sliding down safely all the way up to the 44. Can't be missing sacks or opportunities like that. Big hit comes in. Jaleel Parker lowered that shoulder. It's a loss of 2 on the play as they go 2 spread on second down. And trying to roll out again, though. There he is, Tafiti, with his first sack on the season. We are going to be relying a lot on him this year, and we need him and Cooper to come through. We need some more consistent pass rush as Tafiti gets the pick. How about that instead? Who needs a sack when you could just take the ball over? What a play from the defensive captain. Not all too often you see a pick from the D lineman, but it gets the offense set up in plus territory as they hand this one off. Irvin, he's got a convoy in front, but somehow he gets tackled. Maybe about 5-6 years ago, that's an easy Stanford touchdown. But it's still a good play here as we're going to roll to the right-hand side, and apparently we're just going to flick this one forward to CJ Draft, who will pick up 2. He was not getting out of the face of Daniels. He wanted that one, and he wanted it badly. RPO, quick flip out to Short, who will get a short gain. Perhaps with that quick pressure off the edge, they thought might have opened up a little bit more. Leaves a 3rd and 6. Another play action roll, and his receiver just kept running out of bounds. So what should have been a solid touchdown drive here, we are relying on the freshman to hit his first field goal. Chickalo misses a 3rd. Well, I think it's safe to say Coach Bearington needs to hit the practice field with his kicker to figure things out. That is 9 points left off the board, though at least one was a long one. A really good run here for Sims. The senior really showed off some shifty moves there. First down up to the 32 as they go back to him. Looking to get to the outside. He gets by Ramos. He comes back towards the middle, and he's still going. What an awful pursuit angle from the entire defense. And honestly, he did us a big favor. He cut back towards the middle where we all were. Down to the 21 then, as the second running back checks in, getting to the outside and not going to get by Stevenson. Could have used a play like that on the previous. We'd be back on the opposite side of the field. 2nd and 12. From the pistol look, they go with a play action and a shot downfield. Finding the target is Alex Perry. He has a touchdown already on the day. 1st and goal now at the 4. Double A gap look here for the Stanford defense as it's Tafiti clean off the edge, but a touchdown to the side for Austin. What a throw from Alejado. They get the Warriors back in front. And it appears just the chase back and forth game will continue. Cardinal offense out on the field as they go with a delayed RPO. It's a loss of 4. They've tried that a few times. Just the speed of Smith off the edge, just too much. As they finally find Johnson, the transfer sophomore at tight end. Talked a little bit about him at the beginning. He provides a little bit of burst at that tight end spot. Receiver screen now with some blocks in front of Borden, though CJ Draft forgot to block. And honestly, that's a little funny considering he was brought in as a blocking tight end. Now RPO again, has some good blocks for him. There goes Irvin, and he's at the 30, 20, 10, 5-foot race. He will win The Warrior defender gets there a yard too late, and Irvin ties this game back up 21 all. I will say, the Stanford Cardinal have answered every time. What they need to do is take a lead here. Tafiti rips him down, a loss of 6. He goes untouched around the edge. So far, we are seeing the leaders take lead here for the Cardinal team, both offense and defensively. Just need some of the young guys to make a few more plays, as there goes Alejado. Right brings him down. It was a great tackle in open field. About having the distance here for third. 3rd and 7. As they come out with 2 to the left, it'll be the 4th quarter instead. We've got a tied game here, and it's time for our leaders to lead this team to victory. Starting here with the 3rd and 7, got to pick up the stop as they will look to pass. And across the middle, big hit, jars it free. Freshman Poe forces the punt. And that sets us up at midfield. Ashton Daniels, he's had a pretty solid just field general day out there. And that's a far improvement over where he was last year. Puts the ball in front here for Johnson, who will rumble down to the 27. He has the nice burst, top speed limited. But it works out well for us here as it's Irvin. Stretch to the outside, has to bounce around the tackle and gets dragged down, loss of 2. It's boom or bust, seemingly at least, for this rushing game. 2nd and 2, again with the RPO, it's another loss. So 3rd and 16, Daniels got 2 spread either side. As he will roll, he's got his receiver, Bachmeier, with the grab. A little bit behind, but it works well. Makes it goal to go at the 8. As long as they get the ball in the end zone, they're primed to take a lead here. Knock on wood, cross your fingers that we didn't just jinx ourselves. Irvin down the middle is stuffed. Honestly, it's been a little bit since we've seen Bartow. So let's bring out the power back here, considering it is goal to go, and he will truck through Smith. He might have the speed. He's got to hit the weight room. A punishing hit, but Smith does slow him down. 3rd and goal. Hard count from Daniels, no one jumps. As there's some pressure around the edge, Daniels, he's able to find the side and doesn't find the pylon. He hit it, but they're not giving it to him. They are marking him shy about 3-4 inches. It's the goal line offense, and Daniels will get the lead this time. It's the QB sneak as we finally take the lead here in Hawaii. With 4:10 left, Hawaii's hit some big plays on offense today. Defense has to make sure we limit all of those, as they will look for a pass play 1. Lofting downfield and tipping it away, gets picked off by Ramos. We get it right back, and he's dragged down at the 37. Way to go, Ramos. That's exactly why you got to keep your head on a swivel. Offense takes back over, and we could try to ground and pound this game to an end as Bartow checks back in. He picks up 5. You could bet that we're going to be letting this play clock roll in between each and every play. Inside 3.5 minutes, sticking with the Maryland eye. Following the pulling guards, Bartow trucks through Smith a second time. He's brought a whole new sense to the power game that we had last year. 3rd and 1, and denied. We've seen the offense continually stay out there. They will do so here. That might also be just due to the fact that they don't trust their kicker in Chicolo. The Warrior defense forces the turnover on downs. Hope still alive here for the Rainbow Warrior. As it's a pass across the middle, they find Perry, who will apparently get the first down there. And they will also call a timeout right before the 2-minute warning. So I guess that's a new way to use that timeout then. As it's a shot downfield going back to Perry, who turns Ramos down to the 30. Just need to tighten these things up a little bit in coverage. As they flip the field and find a nice soft spot in the zone, they are down to the 10. Had the opportunity to finish this game off on offense and just couldn't pick up that first down. Alejado now has them driving, flinging it to the outside. A quick tackle there from Edwards. We also just have to be careful with the press coverage. We know we're not great at it, as it's a quick throw stopped at the 2 as they find number 2. And I'm sure it's 4-down territory. It definitely is 4-down territory for them as they go halfback screen and into the end zone. They tie this game. It'll be up to our offense to find the winner here in week 0. And I'm pretty sure we're all thinking the same thing. We cannot let this come down to a field goal attempt. As they set up the wide receiver screen out to Borden. Again, Draft is not blocking. I don't know why it is that he refuses to do so, but he is refusing to do so. As they're still letting the clock run here, it's a throw to the outside. Bachmeier doesn't bring it in. Still a great throw, though, from Daniels. 3rd and 7. Bachmeier in motion on the left-hand side. As they will look his way, he gets the grab that time. We're still well outside of field goal range, though, wherever that might be. Also need to make sure we're getting out of bounds, too. We do have some timeouts we can utilize. As some pressure across the middle, we still get it to Bachmeier. Refs allowing a lot of pushing and shoving on those crossing routes. We got 23 seconds. Everyone playing off coverage here. And to the outside, a little too high. If we had about 2 more yards, maybe we find that. Instead, we are 18 seconds away till end of regulation. Gotta find a lead by then. As they swing it out to the right-hand side, Irvin will lose 2. That's not necessarily going to help us out at all. Backing up, 14 seconds left now. Under center is Daniels as he drops back and takes a big sack. 4th and 21. Well, at this point, you got to just punt it away. And at what it seems like is we would be headed to overtime. As they return this, clock hits double, triple, 0, and to overtime we go. This should be a game that we run away with. Of course, so we all know over the last 5-6 years, Stanford has taken a major dip in prestige. But we've got a lot of young talent. We've seen some of them today. We're going to need to see more of it. Last overtime game we had did not end well for us as we go with the jet sweep. Short with a little juke in the backfield. We'll end up picking up 3. And it was an RPO pass that was arguably the reason that we lost that last overtime game. Let's not let that be the case this time as we make it 3rd and 1. Now to make sure we get a good push here. 3 DT smack down the middle. Bartow is stuffed in the backfield. 4th and 2. A touchdown could win it for Hawaii. And that's even if we hit the field goal. Coach doesn't trust it. He keeps the offense out there. Risky move here, week 0. As they go to the outside, it is Short who has enough. Risky play, but it pays off here for the Cardinal, keeping their hopes alive. As it's an empty set and a pass to Harris for another 1st down. Now they've just finally got to get a good push here. Goal line set at the 2. Bartow, easy running lane, takes a late hit, but it's a touchdown in overtime. It'll be up to the defense then to get the stop for the win. Now would be a fantastic time to see our edge rushers make their plays. Haven't seen much from Cooper today. It's down the middle, and Ramos seals the game as he's going to eventually slide down. The slot corner from last year, stepping up to corner 2, ends it in Hawaii for Hawaii. Stanford picks up the overtime dub, 35-28. We saw a lot of good play from some brand new starters this year. Still more to work on. Shouldn't be this close of a game, but Ashton Daniels, that's a great way to solidify yourself as QB1. Near 84% complete. We could head back to Palo Alto, heading into our week 1 bye 1-0. And to top it off, not only did Tafiti win the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Week, but the National Player of the Week as well. Overall, As mentioned, there was a lot of good things to see from this. First off, rushing game, I feel like was doing pretty well. Could use a little bit more consistency with it. And the passing, again, wasn't too bad either. Defense needs to clean things up a little bit. But while we did give up 4 passing touchdowns here for Alejado, we also picked him off 4 times. So we at least came off even with that. Daniels, as mentioned, he had a really good game. Field general, he took care of what we needed him to take care of. And that is really all you need from a Stanford quarterback. As for the rushing game, Irvin, if he didn't have a few of those losses, he would have been over 100 rushing. He averaged 5.4 rushing. I think that was really solid. Bartow showed some promise, but there was a couple times where he did get stopped, and I expect him to get those first downs. Also expect the offensive line to maybe block a little bit more. As for receiving, this is a group that is very all over the place. I don't think we're going to have that primary receiver, that one target we know we could look at. Bachmeier, again, he's a little bit more of a gadget. Honestly, he's probably more of a slot style receiver, but Short is just the better option for us there. He had a pretty good game. Harris made a couple nice grabs. Didn't really see much from the tight ends, and honestly, I'm not sure if we're really going to. Johnson has that nice burst. He has the acceleration. The top end speed is still below 80. He's got decent hands. He's a sophomore. He's got some room to grow, but I still think we're missing some receiving targets. So we might have to try to continue working on that, or definitely will have to continue working on that throughout the season. Offensive line wise, big shout out here to Baklenko, who had 6 pancakes. Green also had 6 pancakes. And then some of our interior guys had a few as well. Defensively, Morris actually led us in tackles, and quite honestly, I don't remember really seeing number 31 doing much out there. We saw some right. Ramos had a really good game. We needed that from him because that was probably the biggest spot on the defense of concern, is that cornerback group. Tackles for a loss, we had 3 from Tafiti. He also had 2 sacks. No one else had any sacks, though I think Cooper had a hit in on the quarterback. We had 4 interceptions, 2 for Ramos, 1 for Tafiti, 1 for Edwards. And then kicking. I'm definitely going to have to hit the practice field because I thought on pretty much all of those kicks, I thought I had a good angle, and outside of, well, one just being really bad in terms of the meter, hit it way too high, you're never going to make it on those. But outside of that one, I thought it looked good, and then the kick just wasn't. So I definitely need to practice on that, but he did hit 5 of 5 extra points. So we'll give the freshman a little bit of a break. Now, as for recruiting, there's not really a whole lot to look at yet. We had a 5-star quarterback from the offseason. We pulled him off because he was already going to like Bama or Georgia. We're not looking at any running back or fullback. We do have 3 options here at receiver. 2 route runners and 1 deep threat who's also 6'4". So Jamie Stockton could be a nice find because we need to find that next elite Aomanner. And I'm hoping these guys could really help out that group because, again, we don't have that number 1 guy. We are looking at a couple tight ends as well, a possession guy here in Joaquin Benitez, as well as a vertical threat here in Junior Mayava. Maybe pronouncing that correctly. Offensive line wise, we do have a couple different guys on here, focusing more on the power, but Kramer was just a solid lineman, so we did add him. He's more of an agile, and a center who's a pass protector, because the interior hasn't been great in terms of pass protecting so far this year. We do have a DT in Lee Church we are on top of, and a fair few of outside linebackers. These are also going to be our edge rushers or off ball. So we do have 2 power rushers here at the top. We are fighting with Addison against a lot of different teams, but we're pretty much neck and neck with Utah. Another pass rusher here who we are in front, barely against UCLA. And then we got Rosa, who is a pass coverage guy. We are also going after a fair amount of corners because, again, that is a group that's pretty light. Now, Lamont East, someone I really want to get because he is a true tendency of man-to-man, which is what I prefer to play. Oregon also going after him. We're going to be chasing. That might come down to who gets the first visit. We hope that we can pull in front. But because of that, we also added Marquis Maryland, who is a slot guy, and another slot guy that we just tacked onto the board this week. So no real updates on him as we just gave him a scholarship and 40 points. But recruiting will be important as most of our home games are early in the year. As we head into week 2, we will be playing against the Pandas. They were just nerfed in the last update, so unfortunately we didn't get to have a chance to play against the outrageous FCS Southeast. Pandas, but we still have them on board here. It's going to be our first FCS directional team that we have played, as we did not play any in year one. This is a game where we should try some new things out. More specifically around the passing game, see how we could best utilize all those guys. And defense, I really just want to see domination. So make sure you don't miss out. Hit that bell icon in the bottom right or scroll down to the sub button and definitely tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos do go live. This series every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And stay tuned later today, as no spoilers from yesterday, but we have a pretty important game coming out a couple hours after this video goes live. So you got a double header. Back again tomorrow for the first Madden 25 state-only challenge as we begin our final state-only challenge. So some big episodes coming soon. We'll see you next time as we face the Pandas.